while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always
welcome back to my channel. Today I'm very excited to show you my brow tutorial routine. This is kind of what I do when I do my brows, and I'm gonna also give you a little bit of like tips and tricks on what I do on my uneven brows, because if you haven't noticed my brows, or if you're new to my channel, you probably don't know, but my brows are very uneven. I have like a brow in New York and the other one in Florida is like very uneven, and yeah, that's what's going on in my brows, like The Rock or something. But yeah, today I'm going to show you kind of like my brow routine. I've been trying to film this twice already and it's just not coming out how I wanted, but I think the footage came out super pretty today, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you. Welcome to all my new subscribers for being so awesome, and thank you guys for 15k subscribers. Let's not go there because oh my god, I'm appreciated. Love y'all. To show you what I use religiously for my brows right now. So the first thing I use is Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pomade in soft brown. Always used it since day one. I fucking love this stuff. For my brows, I use the Tar, this comes in a kit with the Tar Amazonian clay. That's the first brow product I ever got, high-end, and it brought a brush, and I've been using this brush since then. I like it, it works for me. Bam. I also use the Wunderbrow. The main reason why I like this thing is because it just kind of locks my brows and it gives it a little color as well. But it literally makes my brow like tint, set, stuck there, like it's not coming off. That's what it is. Another brush that I use religiously is this one, and this is the Jessup flat definer brush, and this is to clean up my brow. And last but not least, the Pro Concealer by LA Girls, and what color is this? This is a medium beige, and this, once again, I use it once I'm done with my brow. I use it to kind of clean up everything. And toilet paper, yes. I take one of these little babies, one piece of toilet paper. Doesn't have to be toilet paper. This is what I use because it's what I have near me. I take my brush and I kind of like clean it, and what this is called? Press on the brush tip just to make it as thin as possible, as you can see there. Like I legit just do that over and over again till the brush becomes like super thin, like that. And I do that for both, even for this one as well, because I feel like it helps so much, for me at least. So let's go on and start. Once again, if you use anything, there is brow pomades, there is pencils, you can use whatever the hell you want. This is my preferred one to use. I really like it for my brow type. And yeah, let's get started. Right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and start combing my brows, and I always like to comb them up. That's how I start. You can start either way, you know, comb down up, wherever the hell you feel like. My brow right now, they're kind of like still have some leftovers from that Wunderbrow. That's why they look so kind of like full. So since my brows is uneven, as you can see, one is higher than the other one. It's like one is in New York and the other one is in Florida, literally like The Rock. But with that being said, as you can guys see, this one is way lower than this one. So what I do is I filled in this one a little higher just so it can level up with the highness of this brow. And since this one is way higher and it has less hair on the bottom, I add more hair on the bottom just so it can level up like this one, which is a little lower. If you guys kind of like following along what I'm trying to say, I'm gonna kind of show you ahead and, you know, explain everything I'm doing. This is a little tip on how I filled in my uneven brows. Yeah. So I like to go ahead and brush them upwards, as you can see. And for this brow, since it's lower, it doesn't need to be level with this one. I just go ahead and trace along my natural hairline, and my natural hairline is looking a little bit yeah, a little suspicious. I barely do my brows, guys. So I go ahead and take my Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pomade, and I just kind of like dig it in there. Not dig it, but I kind of like swipe it, basically like that, yeah. Till it has enough product for me to, you know, put on my brows. So I go ahead and start right along my hairline, like legit right along my hairline, and I start kind of like making strokes, if that makes sense, upwards towards my natural hair. That's what I basically do. And I start legit from like the root like the hairline. Yeah, like what the fuck. And then I go ahead and take a little more, and I continue to do the same steps, just adding strokes till my desired kind of feeling. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that all over around the brow. I do not worry too much about making mistakes, just because I always go back with concealer and clean it up, you know what I mean? Concealer will be your like best friend when you're fucking up. So once again, for the end, I do not know how to do that thin tip, so I just wait for, you know, the concealer and thin that out. So yeah. And then for the top, I do the same thing as well. So for the top is kind of a little different, just because this one is way lower and I have to label it up with this one right here, which is way higher. So what I'm gonna do is kind of add a little bit more of like hair, like my hairline is gonna be a little more up than normal, just because it can be as high as this one is, just so they both could look symmetrical and, you know, in the same direction and the same height or whatnot. Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and start kind of creating a new hairline basically. You can always start from your hairline and then work your way up to a new hairline basically. I go right ahead and start doing like the new hairline since I'm like used to doing mine. But yeah, if you're not used to it, just start, you know, from your hairline and then you work your way up. It will be so much easier. So again, I'm just kind of creating a round shape. I don't do that kind of arch brows. I don't go for that. I'm not very good at it either way. So yeah, just go ahead and kind of every time I'm bringing it even more up, I go ahead and stroke it down towards my natural hair, as you can see, just like that. And I just keep like digging on more and taking a little more and then just adding even more. And don't worry about looking crazy. Once again, we'll go ahead and clean it up later. I just kind of like wing it out, you know. So for the front, once again, I just start from the very beginning. Oh my god. And kind of like push it upwards. I start from the I start from the very beginning and I kind of push it upwards. And for the top, I start like right here, like basically on the middle of my eye, like my pupils. Yeah, there. And I don't go all the way in, just because I don't want that too harsh looking brow. And then you could go ahead and kind of fill in your brows and just, you know, brush them and all that sorts of stuff you need to do. Then I go ahead with this cool tone shadow from my Too Faced Chocolate Bonbon palette. I really like this shadow for my brows. It is bomb diggity, my friends. So I go ahead and take a little bit of that. I go ahead and thin out my brush as well, and then I just trace literally the same thing like where I already been, just like that. Kind of push it upwards. I don't fill in my whole brow with this because this is much darker than the brow pomade. I just go like tracing right along my natural line. And this kind of gives the brow like more dimension and more shape. And it makes it look sharper, I don't know. Like a natural sharper type thing. It makes the brow look kind of more like clean up, you know what I mean? That's what I like. And I go ahead and do the same thing on the top. I don't start from the top, from the beginning. I start from like the middle of my pupils. And I'm just tracing along my natural, the same thing I already did. And then for the tip, I just kind of wing it out, guys. And then you could go ahead and kind of like brush it with your spoolie just so they can kind of blend in the little edges thingy-majingy. My eye looks so crazy on camera. What the hell? Kind of give it a little brush in there, girl. I'm gonna go ahead and show you kind of finish this one up as well, just so we can go ahead and finish the whole brow. It's super simple, I feel like. So for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and add on the bottom now, since it has to level, oh my god, what I keep saying, level up with this one right here. So I have to bring it a little lower, because as you can see, it is way up high. So for the top, I do not add any already. I do not add any just because this is already kind of high enough, and this is the only one that we needed to kind of, you know, bring up to kind of level with this side. So this one, I just trace my natural hairline and bring it down, kind of fill it in like that. And once again, I don't go all the way out. Don't worry about messing up just because we're going to go back with concealer. I just like to kind of point my brush like that and kind of just brush it back and forth like this. It doesn't always work, but most of the time it does. Ooh, my ear itch. I'm just gonna go back with a eyeshadow and kind of do the same thing. I'm gonna trace what I originally have done. I honestly feel like I added way too much. So yeah, that's what I like doing, kind of adding just eyeshadow, a darker shadow on the outer like hairline, only on your hairline, just because it's gonna give like a nice dimension and sharper, cleaner look to the brows. And I just kind of blend it in with this spoolie, kind of like stuffed in it. Now we're gonna go in with some concealer and a brush, and we're gonna go ahead and clean those brows up, girl. So I take about this much, not so much, and I give my brow a little brush, and then I just take the tip after I kind of like, you know, made it super thin. Make sure to always get that shit thin. I just kind of like put the tip on it. That's about it, like legit, just the tip. And then I start kind of cleaning up my brows like so. And I'm just following the same process that I did before, kind of right under that hairline. And cleaning up any mistake you have done. I don't usually go around the top, but for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna do it. So I usually just end up doing like the outer part. I don't do the whole brow thing. I don't know, I just don't like it. And then I just kind of go with my finger and kind of just blend it in there. Like so. I don't do too much to it. I go ahead and take a little more of that same thingy-majingy and kind of brush my hair a little. And repeat the same process. You don't want to take too much concealer because you might end up adding too much here and kind of just messing up too much. You always want to add a little bit just to make sure you're on the safe side. It can kind of get too slippery and kind of, you know, slip up or, you know, mess up the brow. Better be safe than sorry. I'm gonna kind of clean up a little bit here just because they look kind of weird, I don't know. And you could just go ahead and clean up as much as you need to, you know? Mine don't always look good, mine don't always look rarely, you know? Rarely. That's why I don't do the whole brow tutorial stuff, because they barely look good. So the last thing I do is take my Wunderbrow and the spoolie and kind of just brush it on here. I'm gonna show you guys. And then just brush it on my brows. So I just kind of like brush a little here, just like that, and then just go all over on my brows with it. This is what kind of adds like the little last touch on my brows, and that's about it, guys.